and welcome back to your mat. My name is Tess. I'm a yoga teacher here in Sydney, and I really love catering to the underwater community. I'm a freediver myself who swims quite a bit and surfs occasionally, and these movements, these breath works, are very transferable between the three. So I hope you find some gems that you like to take home and keep in your own pocket. Today is going to be a short and sweet warm-up for before you get yourself in the water. We will work on hips, shoulders, and of course we'll pepper in some apnea as well. So, to get started, belly shavasana, like starfish style. Let hips come to meet ground, feet go wide, arms, if you've got a pillow or if you're got a comfortable place to rest your head, they can go out far. I'm going to create a pillow with my hands here. Into and your exhales happen naturally as the weight shoulders. Tuck into toes, keep that wide stance. Hips up and back to a wide Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing. Feel free to shimmy out the hips, rotate on the wrist, get comfy here. And reminder that when we offer apnea in class, full lungs means about 80% full, never too full, and empty lungs is a passive exhale, never more empty than that. Our lung tissue is delicate, and when we're flowing with a stagnant breath, if it's too full or too empty, we can risk hurting ourselves. So we're not here to do that. We're here to gently move the fascia and welcome our intercostals, our diaphragms, into the stretch. Ripple hips forward, hips sink, wide leg seal. Keep the tuck in the toes as you raise hips back. Wide Adho Mukha. Your choice, sip into 80% or passive exhale, move through. And only until that first urge to breathe, not even a contraction. Let the air back in for one breath. And then catch the opposite of what you've done. If you did full lungs first, go for the empty on the second. We'll sew back and forth here for one more cycle of each. So that will look like deep breath in, 80%. And hold as you shift yourself forward. Keep the hold as you lift hips high. And then breath out when you're in Adho. Inhale, breath in, hips to the ground. And exhale as you shift back up. Hold on the exhale. Ripple through, feel diaphragm intercostals. And then let yourself sip when you need. Let shins come to ground. We'll find a child's pose, but with arms reached out quite long and tent through the fingertips. Keep the toes tucked under and shift the weight into left armpit. In-breath to center. And so down through the right. Bring yourself back. And then left ear towards left elbow. We're asking our shoulder girdle to give us a little bit more length, a little bit more space here. A reminder that sharp is not the go. That's not what our body says is okay. We're okay with a dull ache. And we're okay with tension. But if your body says sharp or your body says pain, that's a signal to back off a bit. Option here, again, to fill lungs to 80% as you rock back and forth between right side to left side. Maybe only going one right, one left, and then let the breath back in. This is less of a CO2 training and more of a gentle stretch for the lungs and surrounding family. One more on each side. And once you find yourself even, sit back onto heels. Bring the knees together. We're in a hero pose. We'll bring a side body crunch and also a stretch, right? One half crunches, the other half stretches. Start by planting right fingertips outside right knee, tented out. Left hand can come to left hip for support. Rainbow up through the hip as you crunch into right side. And set it back down. And for this one, we'll keep breathing normal. Left fingertips plant outside left. Crunch into left side, length down, outer right hip. Connect your movement with the inhales and exhales, noting that you don't need to be going at my pace. In fact, I encourage you to not. I encourage you to completely ground into your body and find what pace you need. We're simply moving back and forth. A dynamic stretch to get yourself ready for the movement that you're doing after this, whether it be a dive, a swim, a surf, even simply going through the rest of your day. Maybe it's a day without water and you wanted to start it with some flowy movement. That's cool too. Next time you find yourself with right fingers planted, we'll go for a hold. Squeeze into the butt cheeks. Act as if you could straighten out through the hips, even though that might not be accessible. As you can see, it's not totally accessible in my body today. Find the length down left psoas. Really invite right ribs to kiss onto right hip. And then sit back down. Left fingertips plant, crunch into left, stretch out through right. Right outer hip, right psoas. Micro tuck into the pelvis as if it could become straight. One more breath. And then let it down. Cactus arms out. Sternum shines. Tuck the chin, round out through upper back, arms to sew together. In breath, cactus arms. Maybe hold the breath at 80% as you curl back in. Hello, diaphragm. Let the breath come back in the next time you cactus out. And then passive exhale, curl in through spine, through belly, through ribs. Keep on the passive exhale. Feel the suction that your body creates when you go into the back bend. And then let your breath return. Move through these opposite spine bends. A little back bend in your upper, your C-spine, your T-spine. And then a curling out as well, like you're trying to create space between the shoulder blades. Draw them. together when you're back. And then let them melt away, pull away from each other as you curl in. Permission to catch the breath in any spot that feels particularly helpful to you. And we'll move through 3 more cycles. Let the chin be tall in your back bend and let it tuck to meet the space between your collarbones in the exhale. Fingertips stay spread like it's catching pieces of the sun. And then they come together to create a prayer. Last one. Make it smooth, make it long. And then release back to center. Last move, Anjaneyasana, low crescent lunge. Right leg creeps forward. Back left knee can stay grounded. Let the torso be tall and heavy. Let gravity do the work here as you sink through the pelvic bowl. Keeping it neutral, like if your pelvis was filled up with water, we don't want to be tucking it in one certain direction. We'll keep it level. In-breath, arms reach high, bend in the left elbow, right hand catches the left elbow. Bring the side body into it. We're catching our breath here, while we're also catching a stretch here. And release the pose. Swap it out. Right knee back to plant, left to swing forward, plant outside of both hands. Start out by finding your stability, your stance here, and then let torso grow tall and send the weight straight down, grounding into the earth. Front left knee doesn't need to be at any particular angle. It's whatever lands well in your body. Keep the right toes tucked. It helps with balance. Or you could challenge yourself if you'd like to put top of foot down. In-breath, arms high, bend in the right elbow, left hand to catch the elbow. And gaze out through right arm. Bring the side body into the game. Like we've got length going all the way from our right elbow down the shoulder girdle, rib cage, diaphragm, psoas, straight down to the knee where you're grounded. Or more so diagonally down to the knee where you're grounded, but you know what I mean. One more deep cycle of breath. And then let it out. Child's pose. Knees wide, big toes to touch. Let belly flop in. Arms are loose, forehead finds ground. A moment of pause here. Maybe you go into whatever your breathe up is. How many breaths do you take? How slow do you try to sip them? In the morning, we're not doing the breathe up to hold breath. We're simply doing it to become more familiar with the pattern of breath that slows us down, that brings us into calm. Maybe you let your exhales be twice as long as your inhales. That sends a signal to your heart that says, we're in a safe place and we can slow down the beat. Slow down the oxygen expenditure. Feel the way that the air fills up your lungs, every pocket, every punch out of every alveoli that you have grown and carried around for your whole life. Sending massive gratitude towards your lungs, who literally breathe for you 22,000 times a day. 22,000. They're doing it without you thinking about it. That's wild. So it's okay if we give some of the attention and love to it in moments like this. And if you'd like to keep on taking your smooth breaths in this shape, please stay here. If you'd like to finish out class in a seat, let's meet there. Gently press yourself up. No rush whatsoever. And hands first come to heart center. And then thumbs to third eye. Trace the face, pause at the lips. And trace the chin to stop at the heart. And I hope that with you through the rest of your day, through your dive, through your surf, through your swim, you can carry with you smooth thoughts, wavy words, and an ocean of space in your heart. Thank you so much for sharing this practice. See you next time.